to our discussion about graphs and applications of quadratic functions. And in this video, which is significantly shorter than the first two, we will be talking about recognizing characteristics of parabolas just by looking at the equations of their corresponding quadratic function. So let's look at, so we should be able to take an equation such as the one you see here, f of x is equal to 4x squared minus 16x plus 1000, and look at it and kind of analyze based on what we know about the characteristics of a parabola without looking at the graph. So let's talk through this. If I'm looking at this function, f of x is equal to 4x squared minus 16x plus 1000, you should right away be able to tell, does this function have a maximum or a minimum value? It's going to have one or the other, and that depends on whether the function opens up, so it's got a U shape that opens up, or does it open down? Does it have a U shape that opens down? Okay, and so we're just looking at that first term here. A parabola will open up unless it has a negative in front of that leading term, which signifies a reflection over the x-axis. So in this case, this is going to be a parabola that opens up. So we've got this positive U, the U that's smiling at you. Okay, and so that means there's a minimum but no maximum. Okay, so the minimum is going to be found at the vertex. It's going to be the y of the vertex. Okay, so that's what we're going to need next. We're going to need the y of the vertex, but you know, if it's in this form, that in order to find the y, we need to first find the x. And that is where the max or the min actually happens. So let's find the x of the vertex first by taking that ratio of negative b over 2a, so negative 16 over 2 times 4, so positive 16 over 8 is 2. The minimum happens at x equals 2, and then we can find what that minimum is by evaluating f of 2. So f of 2 is going to be 4 times 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, 4, 16. 16 minus 16 times 2, so 16 minus 32 is negative 16, plus 1000, which ends up being 984. The minimum value of this parabola is going to be 984. Okay? So now what is the domain of the function? I want you to think about any parabola like we've been studying. They're going to either open up or open down, and so they're going to go infinitely to the left and to the right. So we're going to say negative infinity to positive infinity, and that will be the domain of all these parabolas that are functions of x. Now the range, that will depend on the y of the vertex. Okay, so let's go back to the minimum value right here. Here's our minimum value, and now I want to think about, will this parabola go up from 984 or down from 984? So if this is a minimum value, we're going to go up from 984. So our range will end up being 984 to infinity. And these are some of the basic types of characteristics that you should be able to tell about the graph without actually looking at the graph, by just looking at the equation. All right, in the next video, we're going to talk about how do we graph quadratic functions just by using our knowledge of transformations. And I will see you then.